Hi, it's Jazz here from Reidys Home Music in Blackburn. I'm here with Steve from Marshall, and he's going to take us through the new range from Marshall, which is the Code. What can you tell us about the Code?
Yeah, okay. Code is our new line of digital guitar amplifiers, basically, which is kind of a new thing for Marshall. But yeah, it's modelling different types of amps, but you can mix and match different types of preamps, power amps, cabinets, all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's also built-in digital effects.
So it's the new wave of modelling then?
Yeah, basically. This particular one is the Code 50, okay, which sits in the middle of the range, which is a 1x12 and 50 watts. We've got the Code 25s, which are the smallest ones, which are 25 watt and they're a 1x10. We've also got the big ones, the 100 watt. 100. Yeah, which come as a 2x12 or a head. But what's really great is the features across all of them are the same. Yeah. So if you've got a guy with a 25, he's getting the same amount of effects and amps and all that kind of stuff as the guy with a 100.
It's a little bit compatible for what you want.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it does come with one of the features I'm looking forward to seeing is the Gateway app, which allows you to control the amp from your smart device. Yeah,
there's basically two ways. Actually, I'll start with the amp first.
Yeah.
There's two ways you can control it. You can actually use the amplifier itself. Okay. You don't have to have Gateway to do all the editing. Okay. You can do everything on the amplifier itself.
Yeah, which is important to a lot of people who feel that they just want an amp, not to mess about with the smartphone. Yeah. Traditional feel.
Yeah, so you've got the traditional amp features along the top.
True.
You know, such as your bass, middle, treble, gain, all that kind of stuff. Then you've got a series of buttons, which is basically showing your signal path. So a typical guitar signal chain. So first one is like pre-effects, which are like your stomp box type effects.
Yeah.
Like wahs, compressors, stuff like that, overdrives.
All the good stuff.
Yeah, all the good stuff. Then you've got your preamp type.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you've got your sort of the effects that you might put in the loop, like you've got delays, reverbs, modulation effects, all those kind of things. And then the power amp types and cabinets. Yeah. So you can access all that on the unit. But like you said, the app at the moment is, there we go, it's open. The app is nice and easy to use too. Okay, so it's available on both Android and iOS. But I don't know if you can see there, it basically gives us our basic controls and what they're set to. Okay, and if I want to change any of those, I'll literally just slide up and down.
So you got a similar kind of feel if it was an actual tone knob or a control knob. That same kind of pattern. They want a familiar kind of vibe to it.
Yeah. What's nice as well is if I'm looking at the app and I actually start turning the controls on the amplifier, it actually starts moving.
It moves in real time. Yeah, that's really nice.
But yeah, I mean, like I say, you basically got a library of sounds. So the amp comes with 100 presets.
Yeah.
And you can edit and do 100 of your own. You know, you can overwrite any of those. But if you're the kind of guy that doesn't want to edit and sort of mess around, you just want a sound.
Just want a solid.
There's enough in there. You know, you've got 100 sounds to choose from, and you can just go to the nearest one you want and just use it.
I think that's a key thing as well. A lot of people would just want to buy this for the standard presets that it's got in, and they want to get those classical Marshall tones. So
Definitely.
It's capable to do that as well.
Yeah, cool. So it's nice and easy, but like I say, the other tabs, literally I've got the amp. Just want to pull that out. It's showing me basically what amp I've got running. So the preamp type at the moment on this particular preset is telling me I'm using a Plexi preamp. Okay, but if I want to change any of those, it's the same sort of way. I can just drag up and down, and there's 14 different types of preamp in there.
Plenty.
Yeah, what I should mention as well, it's not just Marshall.
Right.
You know, there's some American sounding amps in there.
We know the ones.
Then you can choose different power amp types. So there's 4 different types of power amp again, UK and American.
USA.
So, you know, if you're a guy who likes EL34s, there's plenty of choice in there. 6L6s, that kind of thing, you know. And then the cabinet type, so there's 4x12s, 2x12s, 1x12s. Yeah. And then vintage cabs, so you've got greenbacks in there, all the more modern sounding ones. So again, really nice and easy to edit. The effects are exactly the same. So we have 4 effect blocks on here. And as you can see, with this particular preset, we're not using a lot of effects. It's just a reverb. We can tell because it's red. Yeah. And the others are grey. Okay, but to turn them on and off, it's nice and easy. Just
the tap. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, if I want to edit any of the effects that I'm using, parameters come up the same way. It's going to literally drag up and down. I can choose different types of reverb, again, just by scrolling through.
It's quite user-friendly.
Really easy to use, yeah.
To grasp it, it shouldn't take you too long.
To be honest, when I was told about this product and that I'd be demoing it, I was kind of... I was worried.
Some people get quite sceptical with app and amp connections, but when I saw when you first came out with this at the NAMM, I was quite impressed with how smooth it actually ran.
It's really easy to use. But like I say, I know I've said it a couple of times, but I'll say it again. What's great is if you lose your phone or your phone gets smashed to bits or something devastating happens, everything's still on there.
Everything's still there,
Yeah, you can edit the same. But what's another thing that's cool actually is you can have a library of sounds on your device.
Yeah.
Go to your friend's house who's got code, play all your sounds without actually putting them into his amps.
Yeah. It's a really good feature that.
Especially if you're going to go to a gig as well and someone else has got the same amp or the venue's got it.
So you basically got the amp on your phone.
Yeah.
Bonus.
The one thing you do get by using the Marshall Gateway that you don't get in the amp is the playback. Right. So literally you can pull it out and any music that you've got in your device, which is, for example today, because I'm using an iPhone, it's linked to my iTunes.
Right.
I can play the music through the amplifier.
So it's a legitimate Bluetooth speaker as well.
Yeah. So it's all Bluetooth. It's actually, the amp's actually dual Bluetooth.
Yeah.
There's two processors in there. So one's literally for the audio separately.
Yeah.
And then the other's for all the amp editing and functions between the amps. So you don't get any sort of latency or any.
Oh yeah.
Which is quite nice. And then what's really nice is the amp's got a tuner on it, okay, built in. So even though we're going to show you the tuner on here, it actually comes up on the screen on the amplifier as well.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I've got my Bluetooth connections at the top, which I can, connect to other codes or whatever I want to do. But yeah, tuner, nice and easy to use. Okay,
yeah.
So it mutes the amp for you. Okay. Literally sort of pluck a string and it will show me on the display basically whether I'm sharp or flat. It's nice and easy to read. We've also got different types of tuning. Okay, so there's open tunings, drop tunings and all that.
That's a really good feature, that is.
Yeah, which is really nice. So yeah, nice and easy to use. So yeah, that's the app really. It does everything you want it to, but not too much. It's nice and easy to use.
It doesn't overwhelm you, it's just there, ready to use. Yeah, that's really nice.
What's really cool as well, I should have mentioned on the effects, in a delay section there's also a tempo thing on the screen, which is quite nice.
That's really nice, really good features on that. I'm quite surprised, like, as you were saying before, a lot of early kind of apps that went with guitar, like modelling and stuff, it was kind of rough around the edges, but the Gateway seems very smooth. Yeah,
there was a, the guy who designed it, he just wanted it to be, I've got to make sure I explain this right, but he didn't want it to be too guitar orientated, he wanted it to be more as an app, so literally that thing where you're sliding up and down to edit, he was thinking someone's going to be holding a guitar, they want to do it with one hand.
Yeah, a little bit more ergonomical for the player.
Yeah. Not trying to emulate the look of a knob on a guitar and turn it in a circle, all that kind of stuff. It was just too awkward, to use that. So it all makes sense the way it's been done.
Yeah. Alright.
So sound-wise,
it's all there. It's all there for you.
I think this is where it really sort of sells because there's other amps like this on the market. Granted.
With the modelling,
Yeah, but I think what Marshall really wanted to focus on was just the amp sound itself. They didn't want to sort of sell it based on Bluetooth and features and this and that.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going around now.
Yeah.
But I think if the tones are there, it is an amazing amp, as I've heard. But if we run through them.
Yeah. So like I say, basically there's 100 presets in there. I've just sort of picked sort of 3 extreme ones, if you like. So I've got like a classic Marshall tone,
Yeah.
then more of an American clean tone, and sort of something a little bit more high gain.
Yeah.
Just so people can see the sort of contrast. I've gone for the more guitar tones for the demos. Like I say, there's nothing on there that's too overwhelming with the effects, because I do want to hear. Well, I do want the guys at home to hear the actual sound of the amplifier.
Yeah.
So
I'll
jump in. So I think the current setting I'm using is based on a Plexi.
Classical.
Okay, so we've got Plexi preamp. The power amp is a 100 watt British. So we're listening to EL34s.
Yeah.
And a 4x12 with greenbacks. Okay, so that's
always
what we're emulating.
Nice,
so the classic. So that's probably why I'm going to play very cliche guitar riffs with this sort of sound, because you kind of have to do it.
Go away, do it, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you get the idea.
Yeah, that sounds like a classical Plexi should sound. And you also noticed as well, when you use the volume control knob, it really responded well to that kind of thing. Because a lot of solid state modelling tend to, with the volume, there's a bit of loss in volume and the full tone, but with that, as you saw.
Yeah, it's like I say, it's really nice. You know, with modelling, again, I work for Marshall, but I was sceptical.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to struggle demoing these, but because I guess the style I play, and when I sort of do clinics and I play songs, I do roll off the volume a lot.
Classic Plexi tones coming from this modelling amp here. What they were saying about it, the tones of the Plexi are hard to replicate in any situation, but with that you did get that full sound that you get, and the drive on it, and when you turn the volume down as well, the amp responded like no other modelling amp I've heard before.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous the way it does it.
Yeah, usually modelling amps just don't do that.
No.
You start playing around with the volume, it just kind of goes off. But yeah, it's a big thing for me as a player. I'm sure with everyone who's listening, you want the amplifier to react to how you play and what your guitar is, your pickups and the woods and all that kind of thing. Yeah. It's bang on for that.
Right, cool.
Nice and easy.
And we have a nice clean tone lined up, I believe.
Yeah. Okay, so this is like an American.
A US.
Tone. So you probably know where we're going with this. But yeah, what I've done with this one as well, there's a little bit more on it as far as the effects go.
Yeah.
So we've got a nice sort of hall reverb, not too much, but I've sort of padded it out with a vintage delay. And what's nice with this, using the vintage delay, you can actually choose the age, if you like. So the more you crank that up, you get that used sort of tape and all like almost like a modulation effect.
You get that kind of almost analog kind of sound and delay, which is a lot of people going for now.
Yeah.
Hit us with that tone. again with that, obviously for that USA tone, you want to get that kind of glassiness, but that round tone that you get from a traditional tube USA amp.
Yeah.
Which you get from that, and again with the lower volume, it really responds well to bringing the volume, because it doesn't lose tone, which is a key thing for a lot of people playing at lower volumes. Obviously with the 50 watt, you are going to punch it a bit, but it's nice to have that kind of reel it in a bit, and it still has that kind of really unique sound that USA clean amps do.
Yeah. Like I say, like you mentioned with the volume again, and I'll keep doing it, but to me it's kind of the mark of a good amp. Really. But yeah, even with changing pickups, for that out of phase sort of, like I say, that American sort of sound, when I roll off the volume a little bit. Then I want to forget, if I go to the single coil and turn the volume up a little bit.
It's very capable of doing all the things you need for it to do for any style of playing.
Yeah.
Because you can get that kind of bluesy tone with a little Hendrixy vibe, and you can go for that all-out 70s beast. I think we do have another setting to go through, which is another monster setting.
Yeah, I'll just literally, again, I'm scrolling through on the amplifier, but I can do it on the phone as well, just as easily. But yeah, this is, I'm going back to a Marshall sound here, okay, and this is a JVM.
Quintessential.
So the gain sound of a JVM. So like I say, I've gone from a classic sort of Marshall to something a little bit more modern and high gain.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's take a listen.
Go.
You get the idea.
That's the one. It's the one. That's the sound that Marshall have really, really cornered over the past, let's say, about 30 odd years going on now with the JVM. But yeah.
Yeah. Again, effects wise, I've kept it pretty simple. Just a bit of reverb, bit of delay, but we can go nuts. We can start adding choruses, flanges, all that kind of thing. It's all there.
But it's nice to hear how the amp sounds reacting to those different voicings. Yeah, it's a winner.
Yeah, and you see when I changed pickups, it was really bitey on the single coil.
Yeah,
so
it really gives you that kind of variety that you want in a really good lead tone, but also with the rhythm. As you were playing all the other different channels on them, all the clean sounds, it does adapt well to what you want to play, which is the mark again of a really good amp.
Yeah, definitely.
And the last thing I would say is the styling of it. Now this is quite a big change from more the traditional, original modeling amps coming out from Marshall. As you can see, the controls are not on the front, which might sway a lot of people, but I think this is a very classy way to do an affordable amp.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense as well, for an amp this size in particular, you're looking down on it.
Exactly, yeah.
So yeah, even though a lot of people think it looks odd at first, it's going to make a lot more sense, whether you're at a gig or even just playing at home.
It's all more ergonomical as well, especially if you're thinking you're at a gig or you're at a pub gig or something and you need to change your tone, or you've got a preset but you don't have your phone out or anything. Normally you'd be kind of bending down to get it, and it'd really disrupt the way you play it. With it being on top, it's literally, and you can just change it like that.
Yeah.
And also it still has the original Marshall features like the gold face plate and obviously the control knobs and everything, so it still has that heritage behind it. It's just the kind of new take on where things are going for Marshall.
Yeah. One thing I didn't mention as well is you can get foot switches for these, which is like a 4-way foot switch. And what that enables you to do is you can use it 2 ways. You can just literally recall presets that you've stored for a gig. But as well as recalling a preset, you can also have certain switches. Again, you can choose. You can program it your own way, but you can have certain switches just turning an effect on and off.
Yeah.
Or a boost or something like that.
Again, just making it so usable in any situation that you want it to. Yeah.